Welcome to my vlog, I guess? I don't really know.
It's door.
Basically, I went to the aquarium of the Pacific with my art class, and this is how it went. So, we went to the cafeteria first to get some lunches that were provided from the school, and then hopped onto the bus.
Do you actually? Yeah. That's funny. No, that's not funny.
Once again, abandoned.
So there was some graffiti on some of the buildings we passed by on the freeway, and I thought they were super cool. When we got there, there was this art piece at the entrance that was just a bunch of different areas and different animals in those areas. We got a quick heads up, I guess, or whatever you want to call it, before we went in, and then eventually we got in. I got a pamphlet, and as soon as I saw it, I knew the first thing I wanted to see were the otters. I want to see the otters, but I can't find them. But I did find this thing. So yeah, my field trip did end up turning into a quest to find where they were keeping the otters, but I did get some nice views of all the other fish and everything else that they were showing there, like frogs and jellyfish. There was also this guy who honestly looks like he was some sort of drunk mistake, but I still think he's kind of cute. They had this really cool octopus at some point, but still no otters. I walked through this sort of coral reef exhibit. They had an eel and a couple stingrays, and it was honestly really cool to walk through. I really like any sort of aquarium that has those sort of, you can walk inside the water type tunnels, because you can really get a sort of look at what, the underside of an ocean looks like. They did have one of those little rooms that you could stand in, and it honestly tripped me out a little bit, but it was really cool and super interesting to look at. The next thing I saw was all of these little areas, these little blue lit areas that all had a bunch of little things like seahorses and anemone. There was this little pink fish thing that looked super crazy but super cool. A weedy scorpion fish. All of it was super interesting, however, I really just couldn't care for it. I just really wanted to get to the otters. Eventually, though, I did end up finding this place that was big on jellyfish and kelp. I did see this group of little tiny jellyfish, and I was so encaptured by it because it looked so much like a galaxy of stars. There were also these two that I thought were pretty cute, but not as interesting as the first one. There were also these birds that just look super silly, but super cute at the same time. And apparently they're the cutest species of bird when they hatch, so that's interesting. Also, it was in this exhibit that I saw that octopus, so that was also really nice. They had a touch pool for starfish, but I just wasn't, I don't know. I lined up for them, but then I think I just chickened out. I wanted to touch them, but I didn't, so I just decided not to. And then finally it was time, and I found the otters. I was a little disappointed at first because I couldn't see any. There's one right there, but my dad didn't see it, so I was like, oh, the otters aren't there. I really wanted to see the babies, but to be honest, I didn't even know if they were showcasing them because reading the map was a total nightmare. I kept getting lost, but you know what? I saw the otters, so it's okay. I just kind of stood there watching them for 10 minutes. I stood there for a very long time, and I'm not exaggerating because I could just watch them for hours. They're so cute. But yeah, I don't think I'm even gonna talk for this. Just look at how cute they are. But yeah, after I got tired of standing around and watching the otters, I decided to look around everywhere else. There was this big wall of just straight up water and a really big fish. I got to touch some historical diving boots, but to be honest, I felt like I had already milked the entirety of the inside of the aquarium of the Pacific, which to be honest, I wasn't 100% wrong about, because I still had this room to see, but there wasn't really anything interesting. It was just a bunch of art, videos, clips, and a couple of optical illusions. But aside from that, yeah, I basically checked out the entire inside. At some point, I went inside the elevator for fun because I didn't know what else to do. I went through some of the exhibits again because I thought maybe I could just look through stuff again or try the starfish, but all of a sudden there were kids there, so I just didn't go through any of them again. But I did check out the otters one last time. I even played a little otter trivia game. But what about the outside? The first thing I looked at when I went outside was the gift shop where I got this cute little bracelet. Then I checked out some of the touch pools and I wanted to touch one, but then I kind of chickened out. There were also a lot of big sharks and a massive manta ray that I thought were super awesome and super cool. We then had this a little lesson on kelp forests, and to be honest, I didn't take many videos of that because I wanted to be respectful to the presenter. We ate lunch outside while waiting for our bus driver, who took a comically large amount of time to return to the bus, and I got a coffee to go with my lunch, which ended up burning my tongue. And then we all packed up and got into the bus and started heading home. I don't have much footage, to be honest, because I was so tired from walking around that I just fell asleep, but we made it back to school. I finished my 5th period and went to 6th period and then went home. Overall, I'd say it was a good trip and I thoroughly enjoyed myself. Enjoyed seeing the animals, I enjoyed the presentation, and given the chance, I would definitely visit the Aquarium of the Pacific again.